Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man?
For the first time ever, you and our guest arrived at the exact same time because I believe Aaron Murray's about to be live with us in a moment. So, good times.
That's how we do it.
I watched the Charlie Sheen documentary this weekend. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, even though you lived through it, we both lived through it.
We did live through it,
Charlie Sheen era. Remember, it was so wild. That was like the boom of TMZ, and it was still interesting even though we lived through it.
He looks better now than he did 10 years ago. That's what staying off coke will do. What?
Hold on, he's alive?
Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You thought he was dead?
I'm being very serious right now.
Tiger Blood's real.
Passed away.
Aaron Murray's with us, by the way. Aaron, what's up, man?
What's up? How we doing?
I promise we're going to talk college football, but as I told you on text, this show's just random, dude. It's the Seinfeld of sports talk. That's what we try to do.
Aaron, did you know Charlie Sheen is still alive?
I did. And back to your point about being a little wild, I used to work with T-Bob Hebert, so I'm very used to going off the rails very fast, very hard, and just random as all can be, working with him for a couple of years.
Yeah, different than Charlie Sheen, though. His off the rails is more like, I'm mad about this football game.
Yes.
Charlie Sheen, a little different partier, if you will.
Yes, T-Bob, and funny, I love Miss T-Bob. He's doing his thing on with Barstool right now, but he's home and where he needs to be with all the craziness over there.
Hey, so Aaron, one of the topics Raheel, and by the way, that's Raheel, my partner from Houston for years. We did radio and TV together for a long time when I was in Houston. We just kind of brought this show back here at Texags. But one of the topics he brought up, and I think is an interesting one, he goes, one team you don't want to face. And I started thinking to myself, and you being a Georgia guy, I don't find there to be one elite team that I fear in college football right now. That being said, everybody kind of scares me because, maybe in the SEC, let's say 1 through 11, 1 through 12, they can beat you like more than usual, right?
No, it's funny. I think Peter Burns said something a couple weeks ago, and I tweeted at him, and I said the same thing. I said, I don't think anyone, honestly, in college football has that fear factor right now. Like, there is no Alabama under Nick Saban in that run. There's no Kirby Smart, for those few years, or even if you want to put Clemson and what Dab would do during their heyday when they were rolling. There isn't that team out there now. There's good teams. There's a lot of really good teams, but there isn't that one that you roll a ball out and they're just going to beat everyone by 30 points, and you might as well not even come into the stadium. Kind of feel like that is not this year in college football, which is great. It really is. But I would say, I know this is outside the SEC. I think Miami maybe to me is the closest because of how good they are in the trenches. And I think that's how, that's what made Nick Saban so good is the trenches, is, their ability to dominate up front defensively, offensively at the offensive line, defensive line. Obviously, Oklahoma's pretty scary on defense. Offense is a little bit different. I think Miami has the pieces to beat you up physically, and then they have the skill on offense and defense. They can kind of hit you in multiple ways as well. So I think, to me, the team that scares me the most complete team maybe this year is Miami. But going back to your original point about the SEC, I think there is 7-8 teams this year that all have legitimate chances. I said at the beginning of the season, all have legitimate chances to make it to Atlanta, and I really haven't changed my stance the first 4 weeks of the season.
I love Miami as the pick. That was going to be my pick, but now that I'm thinking about it, their big win, obviously Notre Dame to start the season off 27-24. Then they got South Florida. They just, steamrolled them. That wasn't even close. And then they play Florida State coming up on October 4th. So we'll really get to see them against top tier competition. And I get it. The Irish were number 6 at the time, but I think there is a difference with Florida State and Notre Dame. So
I don't.
We'll get to see how. You don't think so?
Let's see what Florida State looks like. I think they got a big matchup this weekend on Friday night versus Virginia. And Virginia is a quality team. I like their offense. I like their quarterback. He's been playing for I think 6 years now. The kid from North Texas. So I think that will be a nice because we haven't seen Florida State since that game against Alabama, and Alabama just got punched in the mouth. I don't think they were ready for it. And obviously, Ty Simpson has been significantly better since that moment against Florida State. And I'm not anti-Florida State at all. I think that is a great team, and I love Castellanos at quarterback. But I think there's a lot to still learn about Florida State. since that week 1 win against Alabama, because they haven't played anyone since. So we're finally starting to now get to the point in the season where you're going to see conference games. You're going to see better matchups. Obviously, Penn State hasn't played anyone. Get to see what they look like against Oregon. Oregon really hasn't played anyone. I mean, they've played some Power 4 teams, but no real quality Power 4 teams.
Yeah.
So, this is a big get-to-know-you moment this weekend for a lot of teams across the country of who's contenders, who's pretenders. But I'll just say it's like I think Miami, even like look at Ohio State, because I think Ohio State's a pretty good football team, but they still got a young quarterback. Miami has the veteran quarterback. They got the big question about Miami was, one, is Carson healthy? Yes, he's healthy. And then two, what are the receivers going to look like? And the receivers honestly look just as good as they did a year ago, if not better. There's really not a lot of holes to poke when it comes to the Hurricanes right now.
When I make my comment about Notre Dame, I just think they are a play or two away from being, undefeated this year, because an extra point goes right for them against A&M. Who knows what happens in overtime? A one play different against Miami. So the fact that they've lost both of their games to two top 10 teams by combined 4 points is why I think, and it makes me feel better about A&M's place. Now, A&M's still, to me, even though they don't have the hardest schedule, they have a very difficult stretch coming up. They've got this Auburn game coming up. They've got to go on the road still to Missouri, who looks significantly better. They got to go on the road against Arkansas, who offensively can sling it against anybody. Texas is Texas has given up 14 points all year long. So, and LSU, a place that A&M's never won. So I say all those things about Notre Dame, making it about A&M, by the way, is because I think Notre Dame is pretty darn good, just not as good as they were last year, Aaron.
No, I think defensively they're not as good. I think offensively they can be better than where you're going. And I know you bring up the game against Miami. I think Miami, the only issue I've had with Miami this year is the fact that they just don't know how to really put teams away. And they did somewhat versus Florida in the fourth quarter, but that game, for those who are watching that game opening weekend against Notre Dame, Miami dominated. Like, there was never really a moment in that game where I was like, okay, Notre Dame is better or Notre Dame should be in this game. Like, Miami was by far the better team. I know the scoreboard doesn't show it, kind of similar to the Nebraska-Michigan game this weekend, where it's a 3-point game, but it's like, Michigan was by far the better team, and the score doesn't necessarily show that. But I love Notre Dame's quarterback. I am a big fan. I put out my revised top 10 quarterbacks in college football last week after kind of getting 3 weeks of seeing play, and I thought CJ Carr has played really well this season. I wish they would have maybe let him go a little bit earlier against Miami. I know it's easier said than done when the weather wasn't great. That defensive line with Bain is absolutely tremendous. You want to put a young quarterback in that spot, so it kind of eased him to the game. But he's playing at a really high level. I think he's an elite quarterback. Obviously, Jeremiah Love did not get enough touches in that first game either. So I think Notre Dame's probably going to be 10-2, 9-3. Football team. So I think for Miami, and then obviously for you guys, that's a quality win. It's just unfortunate they faced two top 10 teams, top 12 teams, whatever A&M is to start the season. And we're, like you said, a handful of plays away from being 1-1, if not 2-0.
I want no part of Georgia. I'm a Texas Longhorn grad. I root for the Longhorns. I want no part of y'all. Like, none. Because
I don't think you guys want a part of anyone with a defense. So
no. Come on, leave Arch alone. You saw him flexing against Sam Houston, baby. that was ridiculous. He is the big question mark, right? Like, what can he do when teams are going to load up the front and he has to throw and he has to get the ball off on time? That's going to be the season for the Longhorns. But I just don't want any part of Kirby Smart. It just always looks like we're never ready. He's always one step ahead, and you got to play from behind. So that's my one team I don't want to face.
Yeah, I honestly, if I'm Texas, I don't want to face Oklahoma right now, because I think Oklahoma's defense would put hold you guys to a goose egg. That's for sure. I think there's a lot of problems with Texas that's I think even greater than the struggles that Arch has dealt with to start the season. I've turned on the tape multiple times this year, and the offensive line against lesser opponents is just getting blasted. They're getting pushed back. Arch is getting hit. I think the receivers are good, not elite. So, a lot of quarterbacks like this, and I was like this, so this is not a knock on Arch when I say this. At this point of his career, he is not an elevator. And when I would say that, I mean he's not going to elevate the play of guys around him. He needs guys around him to help him out. And I needed AJ Green my redshirt freshman year. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, I was ready to go in the SEC and just dominate. Like, no, like I needed AJ Green to go up there and win some one-on-one battles. I needed him in Colorado to throw an ugly duck of a back shoulder that he goes up there and catches it with one hand. And I'm like, this is not fair. Like, this is cheating. Like, Arch needs that guy. He needs the offensive line. He needs the run game, and he's not getting that. Maybe in a year from now, he's a guy that can elevate the play of everyone else around him. But right now, he's just not that. He's lacking the confidence. I think the arm strength is good, not elite. So I think Texas is in trouble, honestly. Like I look at Texas right now, and you brought the point about how good their defense is. We know their defense is elite, but we've seen even Georgia in years past, or Michigan, or whoever it may be. You're going to have multiple games in a season in which the team you're facing is going to be able to score. Georgia versus Alabama in years past, Georgia versus Ohio State. It's going to happen. And I don't think they have the horses or the quarterback right now to compete. And you already got one loss. And I think we're going to pretty much chalk up that game to Athens as another loss. And Oklahoma right now is just this ain't the year for Texas, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, depending on who you're asking, Aaron.
This is true. This is true. And you gotta go to A&M, or is it? I don't know where it is. Is it in A&M?
It's in Austin. It's in Austin. Yeah.
So maybe
even if it was an
chance
A&M,
there.
it's all right.
Aaron, don't hate me for this question. I'm going to give you a long setup for it, okay? Who needs this weekend more, Bama or Georgia, or Kalen DeBoer or Kirby Smart? And then I'm going to pause for a second because obviously Alabama cannot afford another loss, right? I know that. But I was reminded of Kirby's record against Bama, and I don't think it's going to continue, but it is, what is it, 1-6? Is that what I saw recently? Like
pretty bad.
Yeah, so who needs it more this particular weekend?
I actually think you have to lean towards Alabama. You cannot afford to lose a second game because, I think Auburn's a good football team, and obviously you have to go on the road against Auburn. You brought up Missouri. That's a good football team. You still got to face them. Vanderbilt beat you a year ago. Tennessee's a good football team. LSU's a good football team. Oklahoma's a good football team. It's like Alabama's got a gauntlet to finish the season, just like everyone else in the SEC. But, to get through your first 4 or 5 games and have 2 losses, knowing that you have all that left, is not where you want to be if you're the Crimson Tide. So I think you talk about Kirby Smart and like getting over this hump, and for Georgia just in general to continue to work its way out of this massive hole when it comes to facing Alabama, like, yeah, that sucks. But now put yourself in Kalen DeBoer's shoes. You just took over for Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time. You were granted the ability to be in a 12-team playoff with Alabama, and what Nick Saban left from a roster standpoint, from everything else, from a front office standpoint, it is the best in the country. And you didn't make the playoffs year 1 in a 12-team playoff, and then you turn around and don't make it again in year 2? This isn't a BCS top 2 teams. This isn't a 4-team playoff. This is a 12-team playoff with the talent that Alabama has on that roster. And you're going to tell me Kalen DeBoer in 2 seasons can't even get him into the playoffs? So I think that is way more of a pressing issue than Kirby Smart and Georgia trying to beat Alabama to kind of get over that hump when they haven't lost a game yet this season, and they still get Texas at home. They get Ole Miss at home. So I think Kalen DeBoer not only needs this win, he needs to find a way to get into the playoffs this season. Not that he's going to get fired, but to just make the fans obviously happy that things aren't completely going in the wrong direction.
All right, let's do an exercise here. If you had to pick one team now that we're 4 weeks through the college football season, one team that's not your team that you have to watch and you want to watch. This is not hate watching, so don't pick your rivals. Which team are you picking?
Woo! Oh man. I mean, I talked about Miami. I love Miami because it's just a complete football team, really fun to watch. I'll kind of go left field here a little bit. I enjoy watching Georgia Tech in that offense. I enjoy watching Haynes King. I think what they do offensively is just so much fun with all their players and the motions and the shift. And, I love their head coach and the way they fight and play and how gritty and hard-nosed they are. Really, really just a fun team to watch. So I hope that Georgia fans don't get mad at me for saying that. But, it is what it is, man. They are exciting every single week, and you just got to respect the way that Haynes King plays. And, listen, I was not a big fan of Haynes King at Texas A&M. I mean, there's multiple posts of me dogging that kid of good athlete, can't throw the football, ugly motion, this, that, and the other, never is going to be good. And, they worked hard on continuing to clean up his motion. He's a significantly better passer than when he was at College Station. And he's just such a warrior on the football field, man, that you just got to respect the way he plays the game, the way the guys around him rally around him to play. So it's good times being in the state of Georgia right now. We got two teams that one has a chance, obviously, to continue, having a lot of success for Georgia, and another one in Georgia Tech that is truly a contender in the ACC and just the national landscape as well right now.
Aaron, one more for
Who
you.
you taking, Nuño? Sorry.
Who am I
Nuño,
taking?
I want your answer too.
Who are
you going to watch?
Probably Miami, because I'm a Miami guy. Like that. I love watching Miami play. I watch them anyway, so I'd say Miami. But I did want to ask Aaron about this. Marcel Reed, to me, it's got some similar qualities to Haynes King. Not that the way they play, but the gamer part of it. Because there are times you're watching Marcel throw and like, oh, I wish he would have hit that. But when it gets live at the end of a game, and this goes back to last season, at the end of the game, he was really good against Auburn, really good against USC. Struggled against Texas as most players did last year. Yeah. And then what we saw against Notre Dame, he missed some throws early, and then he just was phenomenal down the stretch. What do you see from Marcel?
Well, I mean, I think you may want to say a little John Mateer as well, where it's like, put the ball in his hands and crunch time and see what he can do. No, I listen, I love the ability to push the ball deep down the field. That's something that we don't see a lot in today's game, or as much. I mean, the game has turned into such a RPO, quick balls, balls out now. And, these quarterbacks are throwing for like 75% completion. I was like, man, if you threw for 63% completion when I played, that was a great season, but we were pushing the ball down the field. We were trying to hit explosives, and it just, obviously the game has changed a little bit. So I love the fact that I can turn on the tape and see a guy that is willing to throw the ball down the field, willing to take some shots. And obviously there's a comfort level too when you have playmakers, and kudos to the coaching staff for going out there and getting a Concepcion and a Craver and bolstering that receiving room, and giving him the support that he needs to go out there and let it rip. So no, I like Marcel. I mean, you guys know I had you guys second to last game of the season, had an opportunity to sit down with him, obviously study a lot of tape before that game, watch him live, and just see man, he's a young quarterback. He's a tremendous athlete. I think he has the arm to make every throw that you want. And we're seeing that now this season. And I think the biggest thing you're going to see in year two too is as you start to make these throws, as you start to connect with the talented receivers that are around you, not in practice, not in a spring game, not in a fall camp practice, whatever it may be, but in a live situation game, the confidence level just goes through the roof. I mean, absolutely through the roof. So I think what you're seeing now from him, from that Notre Dame game and that 4th and 10 or whatever it was for the touchdown going forward and how he played, I think not cocky is not the right word, but you have to be that kind of confident, cocky, I'm better than everyone else kind of feel. Johnny Manziel-esque, but maybe not that extreme. And I think he's going to continue to gain in that category and excel in this offense.
Aaron, thanks so much, man. You're always so gracious with your time. Appreciate you coming on with us, buddy.
Appreciate it, guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Aaron Murray breaking it down here on No Layups. Love that dude. All right, so before we jump into some topics, before we close it out, because I know you have some topics, let's figure out who we're doing a year flicks on, or a heritage film on, or a farm and ranch films. You got to pick somebody in the world. Who are we picking?
Man, I'm going to pick... this is my new favorite receiver to watch in college football, Kobe Martin from Indiana. I'm picking him. That dude's a beast. I want to know more about him. I want to learn about his story, his heritage.
All right. That's a good one. When you think of wide receivers, you can't go too far and not think about Mario Craver, but that's all right. I mean, the best receiver in college football right now, but whatever. What would that, so I don't know enough about Kobe to talk about what his heritage film would look like. I'm trying to find a bit here. Can you name, I just named them. Can you name the 3 products that Chance has?
Yeah. Your Flicks?
Your Flicks.
Right?
That's for the kids.
Your Flicks, right?
It's more for the 12 to 25-year-old crew, 20-minute quick Q&A videos, okay? There's that.
Yeah, every year they recap what was your favorite song, favorite movie, all that, and then they make it into a cool production. And then you got Heritage Films, which is the OG product, which is a big documentary on your family. And this is phenomenal stuff. And then the new one, I don't know much about the new product.
Farm and Ranch Films.
Tell me about it.
It's basically Heritage Films 2.0, but we're talking about the farm and the ranch. Now, let me ask you this. When you first met me, would you ever have thought about me as a farm and ranch kind of guy? Because I kind of want a farm and a ranch. And then I want a documentary done on it.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. You're not the.
Yeah, I'm
You're
Yellowstone
not your
Nuño.
typical outdoors guy. You
I
don't
am.
like getting dirty.
Now I do. I'm a man. I got calluses. I like hunting. I like, hanging out outdoors. Yeah, I'm building things, I'm painting things. Yes, I've changed. My time in
When
College
was the last
Station.
time you hunted? When you went on the trip?
Last time I hunted was a year ago, yeah. But I'm supposed to go with my buddy Steve Nagley to go shooting here soon. We're going to shoot some hogs, like in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. Yeah, so.
They're a big problem right now in Texas, hogs.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, are you going to go on the helicopter and do it, or are you just going to go ground?
Look, your idol growing up, Kobe Bryant, which, by the way, I've done such a 180 on him before his death, by the way. But he died on a helicopter, so I don't do helicopters. I'm out. I don't do them.
That's fair.
Just like I don't go skiing, because Sonny Bono basically, didn't he almost die? Or did he die? I think he might have died skiing, like ran into a tree. I don't do things like that.
I don't ski. I don't like skiing. Too many ACL issues.
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
I go snowboarding. Snowboarding's way more fun.
Yeah, I don't even do that. But I might. Hey, I got to ask you this. I think
shout out to Heritage Films.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, Chance.
That was a read.
Was it a read?
Thanks, Chance.
Chance, if you're watching, hey, buddy. I got a question about, when we look at these three permanent opponents that the SEC is going to announce tomorrow, but we know both Texas and Texas A&M's, I think it's easy to get caught up in the right now, but I'm curious what it means long term. For instance, I think A&M if you look at the right now, and really if you look at history, A&M, the last 20 years history, A&M got a much more difficult hand than a lot of other teams, I believe. LSU and Texas are always going to be a top 10-ish team, right? For the most part.
Yeah, but you have to include Texas. So that one
you have to.
You have to include Texas.
Yeah,
LSU you have to include too. That they're part of your run in the SEC.
100%.
You have to include them. It sucks.
But I think Missouri is another one of these programs that are like, dude, when they're down, they're down. But if you look at what they did for most of the time in the Big 12, and really what they've done a lot in the SEC, and their coach right now, Eli Drinkowitz, that is a program, dude. Like they're going to be good again this year. They already are good. They had an easy schedule last year, went 10-2. A&M gave them the business. I think this year they're even better. So just long term, I think, and you guys get Arkansas, they're about to be in a complete rebuild here in a few weeks, right? And I already see that Bobby Petrino's lobbying for that job, which was kind of expected. I think historically, Arkansas would be the more scary, but in the here and now, Missouri, absolutely the more scary.
Really? I think Arkansas hasn't done anything in the SEC.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying all time. When I say historically, though, Arkansas, I think is yes. The last 15 years, 100% Missouri have been much better.
Arkansas doesn't scare me. Missouri, even at their best, and when A&M is at their best, A&M should be significantly better. I don't think it's close. Missouri is a good story. They're a middle-of-the-pack SEC team. At their best, they're a top 5 SEC team, roughly. Right? I don't think Missouri's that hard of a school for Texas A&M, and it shouldn't be.
No, but I mean,
historically,
when you thought you might have Mississippi State, that was the conversation, a couple years ago was like, even though going to Starkville to me is one of the hardest places to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside looking in, I'd rather have Missouri in my pod than Mississippi State.
I've been to the Missouri Stadium. I forget the name of it. It's a nice town. It was cool. Columbia's cool. But the stadium felt like, I was going to a high school game, and I know I'm going to get some hate for that. When you go to Mississippi State, those cowbells, it's like that's a place, man. But at the end of the day, in the SEC, and here's the comparison I've made. Missouri's had not a lot of success, some success in the SEC, and I think Texas is actually seeing it a little bit more this year than they saw last year. When Missouri was doing well, they were in the East. And the East was really not many good teams. The West was full of good teams. But and again, this year they're having success, and what they did last year in a they had the easiest schedule statistically in the SEC last year. And I think, again, they have the easiest schedule in the SEC. But the way they can run the ball with Ahmad Hardy, I think they're a legit program. And I think that's going to be a very hard one for A&M here in a little while, in November.
Yeah. I like the schools that are out there right now, or what we know so far. As you mentioned, Texas has OU, A&M have to include those two. And I'm glad it was Arkansas, because there is a natural beef between Texas and Arkansas, and I want that game every single year. And this is going to be fun, and I like the way this is all playing out. And the official announcement when it comes, I can't wait. Like, I want to see the reaction when it comes out. I know it's already still out there right now.
It's out.
You're
gonna see
but when
just
it
look at yourself.
hits, it's like that's when the real content
change.
comes out.
No, it's
I
like
haven't seen any content on this yet.
come on, like when you saw the trailer to whatever movie, Batman versus Superman, we saw the trailer. We knew the whole movie. It was over. We knew it. You know the movie. You already know what the people are going to say. Yeah, we got Arkansas.
I want the memes and stuff. I haven't seen anything about the leaks.
Flexing over Arkansas?
Outside of our two schools.
Oh, I don't know. I was on the air this morning when it came out.
I know, yeah. You're way more into this than I am.
I know you have some other topics you want to get into.
Yeah. Quickly.
Yeah, you can take your time.
Actually, I can't. We have to go. You have a press conference to get to.
I do.
Okay.
Let's just do it. We got 6 minutes. Come on.
I still like watching the Houston Texans. They're my team. They're my city's team. I like rooting for them. There was a time where I didn't. I lost interest in them just because of the whole Casario, or not the Casario thing, the whole...
Jack Easterby?
What's that bald guy? Jack Easterby stuff.
My good friend Jack. I can text him right now.
Yeah, I know that's your guy. But I heard some stories from like people I know.
He's not my guy. For the record, I don't want that on me. He's not my guy. He was just very nice to me at an A&M basketball game at the NCAA tournament. Continue on. I'm sorry.
So when D'Amico finally got here and the excitement with him, with CJ Stroud having one of the best rookie years, D'Amico, coach of the year, all that stuff, I thought the dark days were behind us. I thought it was all green pastures and we were going to be celebrating Super Bowls. I even said it last year, going into the season, the Texans will be in a Super Bowl in 2 years. And
nope,
my friend, it is dark. It is dark right now. It is bad. There's
who's worse right now?
Major regression.
Who's worse right now, the Astros or the Texans? Right now, like if you're talking about the last
right now, the Texans still.
Okay.
The way the Texans are losing, it's so bad. At least the Astros have so many injuries, so I can't hold that against them.
Yeah,
their top 3 players are hurt. Okay, so it's hard to hold that against them. There's no major injuries with the Texans right now. It's just bad football. It is a regression. D'Amico's regressing as a coach.
Yeah.
CJ's regressing. I still watch. I don't watch the rest of the NFL as much, but I still watch my Texans. Like I get excited. I carve out 3 hours. I would sit down and watch because I want to root for them. They're good guys to root for, all that stuff. And man, it is ugly. It is not good. That game yesterday against the Jags was the ugliest football game I've seen since back in the AFC South days in like 2007, 2008. It felt like one of those ugly games.
I have not paid attention. I mean, I know the score and whatnot, but
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Let's close on a college football thought. Who has had the most surprising start, in your opinion, in college football?
Indiana. I did not expect that. I didn't expect them to be this good. I didn't expect them to have that much talent and to win the way they did against Illinois. That was nasty. Florida, I didn't think they were that good going into the year.
But their schedule is believable, right? Like, so you could believe it.
Yeah. Oklahoma, they were going to be okay. Like, they're good until the Texas game, and then we'll see what happens. Clemson, yeah, that one was
That's
surprising.
the most surprising.
Clemson was pretty surprising.
I was completely off on Clemson. Like, I thought Clemson was going to be, a 10-2-ish level team that maybe loses their SEC games, but like, and I like Dabo, but he's not handling this losing well, and it's eerily similar to the guy who used to coach here, Jimbo. Like, it's eerily similar. Like, when he lost it, and it feels like we're watching Dabo completely lose it early too. I mean, the guy's 53, 54 years old. Like
55. Remember, he said, I'm 55, and I'm going to go coach somewhere else. I'm not even close to getting to that retirement age. And that was just because somebody asked him about the offense. Nobody asked him about the job. Nobody said about like, hey, are you secure? And he just had to get that out. That means he is feeling it. When you start answering stuff that has nothing to do with the question, you're feeling the pressure.
Well, you feel the pressure when you give your resume out. And by the way, his resume is very impressive. And it's and somebody reminded me on the show today that he's got a $60 million buyout. They're not going to fire him if they bottom out, right? But he's the kind of coach that I believe in giving a little grace to. And I use this as a comparison. Mike Norvell was given grace at Florida State. And it seems to be the right move. He was given grace initially. They gave him an extra year. And then he turned it around, and they should have been in the playoffs. Then they go 2-10. And this year looks like they've turned it around. We'll see. We'll see. Again, everything's so early in college football.
Yeah, we're about to find out. The next 4 weeks are really telling for college football, and it's the heart. Like, we are really getting into it now. This is going to be such a good run here. I can't wait.
Yeah. By the way, my nose can't stop running. Like, I feel it. Like, it's like itchy. It's. I don't know.
Well, it's because you've been outdoor all weekend. You're an outdoors guy now.
You know, they call me. I am. You know, what do they call me? The president of country music. I forget what my nickname is, but I'm an outdoors guy. I listen to country, and I don't have boots yet, though. That's next.
You don't have boots?
No, I don't have boots.
Lucci didn't welcome you with some new boots?
No, he didn't.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Tacovas. Let's get a sponsor. Give him a sponsorship.
Boots.
Or some Lucchese's. Is that what they're called? Lucchese's?
Yeah, Lucchese's. Yeah. They got a great story here in College Station that Billy knows all the people there, right? Yeah. You can see me in some Lucchese's.
Get the man some Lucchese's.
I say y'all. You know, I'm a cowboy. All right.
Yeah, basically. All right, man.
You got. I just want to make it awkward. No, to keep it going. Or no?
I got one more thing for you.
Okay.
Black Rabbit on Netflix. New.
Is that the one with Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman.
Is it good?
Bateman and Jude Law.
Jude Law, both high quality actors.
High quality actors. I get the concept. I get the intrigue. It didn't hook me though. First episode, I was like, maybe I was just tired. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll give it another shot. It is all right.
Have you tried the new Terminal List, the prequel to Terminal List?
Not yet. It's on my list.
You've watched Terminal List, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to watch it.
Anything Jack Carr does, I'm all in. His books, his shows. Jack Carr's the best.
Yeah. Also,
you don't know who
Amazon
that is,
Prime. No, I don't know who he is.
He's
I
Navy
watched
SEAL.
the show. Amazon Prime really let Bad Bunny down.
What happened?
The acoustics for his live stream were terrible.
Really?
It was bad. You couldn't even hear him sing. It was bad.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, towards the end, I think somebody figured it out. Like, hey, we should turn up his mic volume.
I didn't see that.
We couldn't hear the crowd. It was jam-packed. You couldn't even hear the crowd. So, shout out to Amazon
So
Prime
don't go watch that,
really.
is what you're telling me.
I wouldn't. I didn't think. I mean, I was so excited to watch that concert. I was going to go to Puerto Rico. We couldn't figure out the date. And he's only doing it there. And then he's traveling to other countries, but not the United States. And so I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see like this really big concert experience. And it was flat. It wasn't good. So don't watch it.
I got a press conference to go to.
All right. See you.
Yeah, bye.